Around August every year, most of India, especially North India, celebrates the festival of Raksha Bandhan or Rakhi. It's a festival that celebrates the special bond between brothers and sisters. Around the same time, the festival of Onam is celebrated with much fervor in South India. Did you know of a story that connects these two festivals? About an hour's drive from Chennai lies the ancient seaside town of Mamallapuram, featuring 1,300-year-old monuments built by the Pallava kings. Each monument tells a fascinating story. One particular monument is called the Varaha Mandapa. It's a rock-cut cave temple dating back to the late 7th century. Inside, you will see 4 beautifully carved panels, one of which is called the Trivikrama panel. This intricate carving tells a story that connects 2 important festivals celebrated at 2 different times in 2 different parts of the country. The festivals of Onam and Raksha Bandhan. Here's the story.
Many eons ago, there lived a demon king named Mahabali. This demon king was wise and just and very popular with his subjects. He was also a great devotee of Lord Vishnu, the god of protection. At one time, he was granted a boon that nobody would ever defeat him in battle. Naturally, Mahabali quickly conquered the earth, the heavens and the netherworld and ruled over them all wisely and well. Nobody complained because he was such a good king. But Lord Indra, the king of heaven, was unhappy with Mahabali's rising power. Feeling insecure about his own position, he complained to Lord Vishnu. And Vishnu had to find a way to settle this matter.
Now, it was well known that Mahabali was a very generous king who rarely refused a request. One day, a very short man named Vamana came to meet him at his palace. He had a very strange request. He asked for only as much land as 3 paces of his feet would cover. Mahabali agreed. And then a miracle happened. Vamana grew taller and taller and taller. He was so tall that with his first step, he covered the entire earth. With his second step, he covered the entire sky. That is the moment you see depicted in the Trivikrama panel. You can see Vamana with his legs stretched right out to the heavens. Trivikrama roughly translates to the one who took 3 steps. Trivikrama is another name for Vamana, the 5th avatar of Vishnu.
Vamana now turned to Mahabali and asked where he should place the 3rd step. By now, Mahabali knew that Vamana was none other than Lord Vishnu. But he didn't want to go back on his promise, so he knelt and he offered his own head for the 3rd step. Vishnu put his foot on Mahabali's head and gently pushed him down into the netherworld. And from then on, that became his kingdom. But Vishnu left him with 2 new boons. 1, Mahabali would always have his protection. And 2, he could come back to earth once every year and spend time with his beloved subjects. And it is this annual homecoming of Mahabali that is celebrated in Kerala as the festival of Onam.
So how is all this connected to Raksha Bandhan? Our story of Mahabali continues. One day, a woman came to meet Mahabali at his palace in the netherworld. She had a grievance. She complained that her husband was always at work in the palace and so she felt lonely and scared. Mahabali invited her to live in his palace. So she moved in and Mahabali looked after her like his own sister.
But very soon, she came up with another complaint. She said she missed her husband and wanted him back. Mahabali promised to help. But who was her husband? The palace watchman. He was always on sentry duty and had no time for her. That's when Mahabali remembered Vishnu's promise of eternal protection. That palace watchman had to be none other than Lord Vishnu himself, quietly keeping watch over Mahabali. Mahabali was delighted. This also meant that his newfound sister was none other than Vishnu's wife, Lakshmi, the goddess of wealth. Between them, they had made sure that his kingdom stayed safe and prosperous.
Just as he had promised, Mahabali sent Vishnu back with Lakshmi. On her way out, Lakshmi tore a strip of cloth from her shawl and tied it around Mahabali's wrist. She promised that that strip would be his protection and a symbol of her sisterly affection. Mahabali gave her many gifts and sent her on her way.
Even now, on the day of Raksha Bandhan, sisters tie a length of string around their brothers' wrists as a mark of affection, and brothers still reciprocate with gifts. There are, of course, many other stories behind this very charming festival of Raksha Bandhan. This is just one of them.
But there is another interesting side story in the Trivikrama panel. If you look closely at the right-hand side, you will see a man hanging in an awkward position halfway up the panel. That man is King Trishanku, and his is an unusual story.
Story goes that Trishanku was a handsome king who was very proud of his good looks. So proud that he did not want to leave his body behind even after his death. He wanted his immortal soul and his handsome body to ascend to heaven. So he went to his teacher, the wise sage Vasishtha, for help. But this was against all laws of nature. Vasishtha refused. So Trishanku sneakily went straight to Vasishtha's arch rival, another equally wise sage named Vishwamitra. Vishwamitra saw this as an opportunity to outdo Vasishtha. Using his considerable magical powers, he sent Trishanku whizzing into outer space, right to the doors of heaven.
Indra, the king of heaven, was furious. How dare a human in a mortal form pollute his heaven? So he pushed Trishanku back and slammed the heavenly doors on his face. Trishanku started to free fall back to earth. This was an insult to Vishwamitra. So he summoned all his powers and brought Trishanku to a screeching halt. Trishanku was now suspended upside down in mid-space. Indra would not let him go up into heaven, and Vishwamitra would not let him come down to earth. And so, there he hung in limbo.
Vishwamitra and Indra eventually made peace and allowed Trishanku to enjoy his own small private heaven, somewhere between the real heaven and earth. And there he still resides. You can even pinpoint Trishanku's exact location in the night sky. You see, the farthest constellation you can see with the naked eye is the Southern Cross. Heaven, they say, lies just on that side of this constellation. So the Southern Cross, which lies between heaven and earth, is said to be Trishanku's heaven.
So why is Trishanku depicted in this panel? The sculptors of this panel use Trishanku as a clever allegory to show that Vishnu's extended leg stretches well beyond Trishanku's heaven into the real heaven. Today the word Trishanku is used to mean anything that is in limbo, anything that is neither here nor there. And that is a set of stories from just one panel, the Trivikrama panel at the Varaha Mandapa in Mamallapuram. We'll explore many more stories of Mamallapuram in our upcoming videos.
I do hope you like this story. We have many more fascinating stories to tell. Do like, share and subscribe to our channel, and we'll notify you of every video we release.